Well, hi, hello, and how are you doing out there in internet land? My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and welcome to this pre-Valentine's Day edition of the Newsroom. This fun little thing that we occasionally do through the week where we get together, we talk about the news, we give our views, and we try to make sense out of this crazy thing that we call life. My name is Brian Trippett. I am known in social media as the Front Porch Conservative. Sometimes I'm called the wise guy in the wide brim. On occasion, I'm called the fine fella in the fedora, sometimes known as the common man with common sense. But in this moment, above all else, as always, I am your host. We are on X, we are on Rumble, and we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So please do me some favors as always. If you are not subscribed to my channel on YouTube and Rumble, please give me a sub. I would really greatly appreciate it. And while you're at it, share the link around with your friends. Leave a comment in the chat. Hit the thumbs up button in both places. Go crazy out there wherever you are in the world, or on the United States, or in Antarctica, or in on Saturn, or up Uranus. Anyway, I don't know. You know what I'm getting at. Help me out here. Do what you can wherever you may be, even if it's as simple as a thumbs up. Always appreciate it. Glad to have you guys here tonight. If I sound a little bit croaky, I apologize in advance. I am getting over a very interesting case of COVID, which I had no idea. I'll give a little brief background of what happened. I guess it was Tuesday morning. I was sitting at my work desk, my job work desk, and I couldn't get warm. I mean, literally, I was sitting there shaking. Now I'm fully clothed and doing all this, fully dressed and just freezing to death. Then finally, about 1:30 in the afternoon, I just got this pounding headache and it just would not let up. It felt like someone took my head and put it in the middle of a vice. So finally I logged out of work and just laid down for a little while. And I went to the Now Care in my area. They swabbed me, and the next day they said, yeah, you got COVID. And I was like, ugh, that stinks. So they called in on my medication. I've been taking a medication. I called in from work and slept most of Wednesday, and now I'm just sort of getting back in the whole rhythm of everything. So if I'm a little bit croaky, this is a weird case of COVID, I guess by my standards. First of all, until now, this is what, 6 years on from the discovery of the COVID-19 virus. This is the first documented case of COVID I've ever had. And I'm blessed in that regard. I really am. I really am blessed. So this is my very first documented case of COVID. Second of all, for me, this was kind of weird. It's not like I've got sinus drainage or horrible cough or anything else. Just like I couldn't. I mean, until I started taking the medication that I was prescribed, man, my head would just throb. It was terrible, just absolutely terrible, and I couldn't get warm. Those are my two biggest symptoms. I couldn't get warm, and my head was killing me. But other than that, I'm fine. I'm fine. We are alive and well. We're doing our thing, hanging out there with you, and trying to make it all happen. So there you go. Oh, let's see who all's in the house tonight. Hello, Z Highness. You good looking thing, you. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Greetings, Miss Gypsy. Oh, and thank you very much. I tried to honor your request. The red vest is at the cleaners. I apologize. It totally slipped my mind. So, but the red fedora, yes, we have that for you, my dear. Hello, Professor Tie Dye. Welcome in this evening, sir. Good to see you out there. We'll see who else. Let's see. I think the wing nuts are slowly assembling, but they're going to make it in here. I'm not too worried about those cats. They'll get here. Let's see. What else do we have going on right now? Let me check on some things here. Yada 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 yada. I'm looking for something. Hang on a minute, folks. Okay. Just making sure I've not missed any communications with my friends out there. But yeah. No, we've missed you too, dear. We've missed you too. Very much missed you. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Yeah, it's going to be kind of a quiet night by porch standards. Don't have a lot of memes. Although that said, I would be very, very remiss. Where is it? Where is it? Bless your heart, honey. I saw you a minute ago. Oh, where are you? Where are you? I saw it. I know it's out there. Oh, yes, here it is. Here it is. Yes. Yeah, hang on one second, folks. I got sent a meme by Z Highness, and if I don't put this one up here, this is just too daggone good. Oh, come on. Why don't you want to copy? Why do you not want to copy? There we go. I think I found a way to do it. Yeah, I'm so technologically challenged. Don't you just love it? Ah, yes, here it is. Okay. Save that for a little bit. All right. Yeah, I think we got everybody in the room. We're slowly getting settled in. We got the folks over on X. They'll be with us here shortly. And the folks on Rumble, they'll be chiming in, as I have no doubt about that. I already see a bunch of folks out there on. And as always, to you folks out there on Rumble, don't be no strangers. Say hello. Same thing with the folks on X. Stop in, say hello, wherever you are out there. Well, yes, I was fully clothed at my job. Thank you very much. Yes, that's very true. Fully clothed. Fully clothed indeed. Mm-mm-mm. All right. This show might not be lasting as long as I hoped. Anyway, glad to have you guys here with us tonight. We do have a few memes. We do have a few things, and then we're going to get right into the biggest story to be talking about. Yeah, because yesterday was just, oh my word, yeah, it was something to behold. That much is faux show. Anyway, so hang on a minute here, folks. I have got to, let's see, hang on. Can I do something with that? What is that? Okay. I got to fix that at some point. Hang on a minute. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I got to fix this. This is going to bug me. Maybe I can fix it. Yeah, maybe. Where is it? All right. Anyway, we'll just roll with it. All right. Got a joke for you guys. What's the difference between an illegal immigrant and ET? What is the difference between an illegal immigrant and ET? Well, really, it goes something like this. At least ET had the good decency to learn English and then wanted to go home. You know, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. So there you go. There you go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Gotta thank Z Highness for that one. And one more, and then we're just going to dive straight into our topic tonight. You know, occasionally I find something that just needs no setup, and this is one of those moments. So here you go, folks. Now, if you're looking at that and you're saying to yourself, yeah, well, that's pretty much the story of yesterday. Sadly, that cartoon done by Nick Anderson is is remarkably accurate. I mean, remarkably so. Really kind of amazing at this point. And that's going to lead us straight into our first story, which is Pam Bondi's appearance before the House Judiciary Committee yesterday. And I've been watching American politics now for going on close to 40 years. And I've watched it to one varying degree on another, with some intense interest, some casual interest, and somewhere in between. But I don't think in almost 40 years of watching American politics, I have ever seen so disastrous a performance in a congressional testimony. I'm serious. This was awful. This was just god awful. By any standard you want to go with, this was terrible. You had incompetence, immaturity, arrogance. I mean, it was just absolutely awful. And there's so many ways of dissecting this. I mean, I've got 2 or 3 clips here, and really I only need one. I mean, I'm going to play a couple of them just for the sake of saying, yeah, we touched on the hotspot clips, the ones that really got the most fire to them, the ones that got circulated the most. But the only clip from yesterday that you need to watch is not the exchange between Jamie Raskin and Pam Bondi, or Jerry Nadler and Pam Bondi, or Jasmine Crockett and Pam Bondi. No, you don't need to see any of that. The only exchange you need to watch yesterday to realize how badly Pam Bondi did and how much damage she inflicted on Donald Trump is the 6-minute exchange between Pam Bondi and U.S. Representative Thomas Massie, Republican of Kentucky. That's it. That's all you need. Nothing more. And we're going to play the whole clip. We're going to stop it at various points. But that's all you need to know how badly Pam Bondi is out of her depth, intellectually, occupationally, and how she so desperately needs to be replaced by Donald Trump. And I mean, like, right now. I mean, now. But we'll get to that momentarily. So the first clip I've got is an exchange between Jerry Nadler, longtime Democrat from New York, and he is retiring this November. And I don't have the whole exchange, but I've got the part that most people have seen. And it goes something like this. Now, as always, give me a sound check. Now, you're going to hear Nadler, and then you're going to hear Jamie Raskin chiming in over top of that, along with Jim Jordan, who's the chair of the committee. So with that, here we go.
I really have just one question for you. How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
Okay. Now, you might sit there and say, okay, well, that's him being partisan. He's a Democrat. All right. He might be a Democrat, and he might be partisan, and he might be trying to engage in partisan activity. But that doesn't mean the question's wrong. He asked a very fair and reasonable question. How many people are you actively pursuing right now under indictment? Matter of fact, I'll back that up and start it over again, just to be fair. Let's try that one more time. Jerry Nadler from New York.
I really have just one question for you. How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Why is she getting so defensive immediately? Look, I understand. Everybody is trying to score their own points here. She's trying to score her points. He's trying to score his. I get it. But there's no need for her to go that defensive that fast. Unless... Yeah. She just like, excuse me, I'm going to answer the question. All right, let's continue with this. Here we go.
My question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No, you're going to answer the question the way I asked it.
Chairman Jordan.
It's not theatrics. He asked her a fair and reasonable question. How many Epstein co-conspirators have you indicted? How many of them are you pursuing? Again, he may be a Democrat, and he is. He may be partisan, and he is. But that question's not unreasonable. But she's instantly defensive.
I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people, but I'm going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time belongs to
Reclaiming my time.
the time belongs.
I think it's very
Reclaiming
interesting.
my time.
I think it's very
Reclaiming my
interesting.
time.
You can
that
reclaim
he
your
talks
time,
about
but
they
reclaiming my time,
indicted.
Mr.
The
Chairman.
president said they
Close the
indicted
clock.
him
Mr.
twice.
Mr. Chairman, please
They
stop the
sure
clock
did.
and stop the
he
clock and
indicted-
restore his time.
Okay, here we go with these
Committee will be in order.
theatrics.
The
Reclaiming
time
my
belongs
time
to the
and
gentleman
yield
from
back
New
the clock,
York.
please.
We will give you a few more seconds. We will do that. But when
Reclaiming
you ask
my-
a question, the
The
witness
question
gets to
was-
answer. You may not like the answer, but she
Right.
gets to
The
answer.
question was, how many of Epstein's...
They don't like
Re-
the answer,
Reclaiming
Chairman,
my time.
because it's honest.
Reclaiming
So
my-
he asked a
Reclaiming my
4-minute
time.
question.
Restore 45
and
seconds
I
to
am
Mr. Nadler,
going
please,
to
Mr. Chairman.
Reclaiming my time.
answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch.
Reclaiming-
Not on our time. No way.
reclaiming-
Now
I
that-
told you about
Now that's Raskin in the background. You can filibuster on blah, 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 blah. That's Raskin, okay? All right.
that, Attorney General, before you
You
started.
don't tell me.
Yeah, oh, I
anything,
did tell you because we
washed
saw
up
what you did in the set.
lawyer, not a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
You're not even a lawyer. Again, it's pop. It's got pop. It's got sizzle. It's got everything else that goes with it, but not an ounce of substance on her part. Now, again, you can make the argument and be perfectly legitimate in saying it, that the Democrats are trying to make their political points. They don't have any substance either. That may be true. But in this moment, as the Attorney General of the United States, she is accountable to the Congress for her actions. And in this moment, there is no accountability. None. Oh, really? Really? Oh, I did not know this. Oh, first of all, number one, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching this channel right now, if you don't know who Gothix is, you need to go check her out on YouTube, on Rumble, on any number of places. Gothix is the bomb. She is awesome. Okay, and I did not know this. Z Highness, thank you for telling me about this. I may have to reach out to her and say hello and see what she's up to these days. Just get her on the show and see what she got going on, because I'm very happy to hear about this. But thank you for telling me. Now, I mean, look, Pam Bondi can get as mad as she wants to. She can engage in all the theatrics she wants to. But the question she was being asked is not unreasonable. Not unreasonable at all, right? Now, the next clip I've got is the one that is the most notorious from yesterday, okay? And it is the one that is the most memeable, and Lord have mercy, the memes that are coming off of this are just incredible. If you have not seen this clip, and you're asking yourself, what is the one soundbite from yesterday that we should, most remember? Well, unfortunately for Pam Bondi and the Trump administration, it's this.
The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does the Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr.
Okay, Madam Attorney General. Yeah, really. Right now, everybody's reclaiming time. That's all there is to that. Madam Attorney General, you're right. We should be talking about those things. But you're being called before the House Judiciary Committee not to talk about economics. You're not being called before the House Judiciary Committee to talk about the Dow Jones or the S&P or job growth or anything else. You're being called before the House Judiciary Committee to answer questions related to the functions of your office as Attorney General of the United States of America and what you're doing with the job. Now, again, you can dislike the Democrats for asking their questions. You can whatever. That's fine. All right. But why are you even bringing this up? Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure you guys are going to have already thought this, does she not sound like, Donald Trump with long blonde hair and heels? This is what Donald Trump would sound like in drag. Sorry. She's doing a poor Donald Trump impersonation. And if you don't believe me, wait till we get to this clip with Thomas Massie. Okay? Just wait. So anyway, here's the rest of it.
Jordan, Mr. Jordan,
Committee will be in order.
Mr. Jordan, am I going to get an extra 45 seconds added to my time?
The committee will be in order. The time belongs to the gentleman from Texas. Ms. Bondi, the Attorney General can respond.
Thank you. The Dow has shattered 50,000 for the first time. This is crazy. They said it couldn't be done in 4 years, yet President Trump has done it in 1 year.
Again, what does this have to do with your job as Attorney General? Seriously. What does this have to do with anything? You're being asked about the Epstein files. You're being asked about prosecution of ICE agents. You're being asked about any number of different things. Okay. What does this have to do with anything? Nothing. I mean, it's a nice soundbite for you, for what it's worth. I guess, well, let me rephrase that. I guess you think it's a nice soundbite. Nobody else thinks you're real smart for saying it. Oh, you know what, Zippy? You know what, Zippy? You're probably right. You're probably right. Probably true. Probably true. And welcome in, my friend. Glad to have you in the house with us. Yeah, I mean, this is just insane. Just absolutely insane. But the clip that is the piece de resistance, right, is the exchange between Thomas Massie and Pam Bondi. Now, Lord only knows enough has been said about Thomas Massie over the years, and most recently. He seems like he is the thorn in Donald Trump's side. No, I would argue he's an equal opportunity irritant. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, he'll irritate you either way. But if anybody is going to hold Pam Bondi to account for how the Epstein files are handled, it ought to be at least one of two people, either Ro Khanna, Democrat from California, or the co-sponsor of the Epstein Files Act, which is Thomas Massie. So Thomas Massie gets his 5 minutes in, and boy, does he make it count. And we're going to stop this at various places because I got commentary all the way around, and I'm sure you guys do too. But anyway, here we go. Here's the Royal Rumble.
Behind me, I have 3 documents from the DOJ production that are emblematic of the massive failure of the DOJ to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. To my right is an email that was sent by the victim's lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names not to redact, a list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did.
Now, mind you what he's saying here. From a lawyer to the DOJ, here's a list of victims. What did the DOJ do? Released every name in that email. Okay? Every one of them. In violation of the very act that Thomas Massie co-authored. That is, by the way, sign into law. That is law. That act that Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna co-wrote together is law of the land. It's not a theory. It's not a regulation. It's not an executive order. It is law of the land. It compels the Department of Justice to do certain things with the Epstein files and not to do certain things with the Epstein files. Okay? So if anybody gets to take Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice to task, it's this cat right here. Okay? So the first thing he points out is you release the names of the victims, which you shouldn't have done. Well, it gets better. Watch this.
And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name and you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name there.
Oh my God. Harriet Hager, if you're wondering who this is down here, looking like an owl in the headlights, that's Harriet Hagerman, the congresswoman from Wyoming, who's like, oh, I do not want to be in the middle of this. She's like, get me out of here.
The next document I want to show you, that was in the title, the victims' survivors' names, all right? The title of this one is Child Sex Trafficking, Co-Conspirators, fully redacted. And by the way, I'm going to unredact them here. Les Wexner is in this. Now, your your deputy attorney general said, oh, well, he appears hundreds of times in the files, but he doesn't appear in this file until I forced you to release it, where he's listed as a co-conspirator, not to tax evasion, but to child sex trafficking, not to prostitution, not to money laundering, child sex trafficking. And then finally, what we have here is the third exhibit that I have is emblematic of the FD 302 release. These are the documents that we need that you're holding on to and over redacting because they have the names of the men who are implicated. How do we know? Because the survivors gave testimony to the FBI, and it's in there. And what happens when you go to the portal at the DOJ to look at what's behind this redaction? Another redaction. So we can't even see them. And then there's some of these files you've pulled down from the website that we will never see because we can't search the redactions. So
now, everything he's listing there, I mean, think about this. Testimony is given by the survivors to the Department of Justice, telling them, hey, these are the men who committed these acts. These are the men that we accuse of doing horrible things to us. Okay? And those 302s, totally redacted. I mean, they are black as night. All right? You can't find a single space of word where you can read any of it. Unless, of course, you're a member of Congress and you go on a special website or you get to go over to the Department of Justice, take a look at it. Okay? This is crazy. This is crazy. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely madness. So anyway, having listed all these faults, here's Thomas Massey's question.
I have several questions for you. Who's responsible? Are you able to track who in your organization made this massive failure and released the victims' names? Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an FBI document? Do you have that kind of accountability?
I believe Wexner's name was listed more than 4,000 times about.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a
Can I
co-conspirator.
finish my answer? Come on, let me finish my answer. We corrected that within 40 minutes. He was already, you're acting like everybody's trying to cover up Wexner's name.
Reclaiming my time.
I'm going to answer this question.
Reclaiming my time.
He was,
Mr. Chairman.
This is how this works.
Can I have my time
He
back?
was,
Mr. Chairman.
The gentlelady can give her answer. The time belongs to the gentleman from
All right,
Kentucky.
I'm
Let- let-
reclaiming my
Can I give
time.
my answer?
So
Yes.
I'm going to put the language of the bill up on the screen.
Chairman,
because I
may I
have
give my
another
answer
question.
on that?
If-
It's
Here's
a political
the question.
joke, and I need to give my answer
Yep,
on that.
we'll let the Attorney General respond, and then the gentleman can move to his
Chairman,
next question.
it's my time.
Within 40
Chairman.
minutes, you asked me a question.
You can
Within
give me-
40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes
You
of
ha-
me catching you red-handed.
Red hand, there was one.
I'm sorry. Red-handed, you act like it's a conspiracy. Really? And you wonder why. Yeah. Yeah. Reclaiming my time. Unbelievable. I mean, not Massey. I mean, I don't have an objection to Massey. Again, he might be, Kentucky's version of Foghorn Leghorn. But in this moment, he's not wrong at all. And he's asking very appropriate questions. Anyway, some more of this.
One redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a
4,700,
co-conspirator.
Okay.
and we
You
invited
know what?
you
Show
in.
the video.
This
Show
guy
the-
has Trump
Gentlemen.
derangement syndrome. He needs
Show
to
the
get.
video.
You're a failed politician.
Gentlemen,
Again, what is it with the cheap Trump impersonation? This guy's got Trump derangement syndrome. He's a failed politician. Really, Bondi? This is all you've got? You're going to repeat the cliches and slogans of your boss? This is all you've got? Really? Unbelievable. And that's a great point. Look, I mean, under normal circumstances, I couldn't stand Jamie Raskin. I can't stand Jerry Nadler, Jasmine Crockett, Paya Paul out of Washington State, Zoe Lofgren, whoever you want to name. But in this moment, I can't get mad at them. I can't. Good evening, my dear. Mwah. Happy pre-Valentine's Day. I can't get mad at him. I can't get mad at Thomas Massey. Like I said, he might be Kentucky's answer for Foghorn Leghorn, a blowhard politician from the bluegrass. But he ain't wrong. He's not wrong at all. And she's not doing herself any favors. And worse yet, she's definitely not doing the Trump administration any favors. Anyway, let's keep on going with this. We got a couple more minutes.
You need to
I'm gonna
go
let you to watch the video.
Mr. Chairman, please restore his time and remind the witness of the
himself.
rules here.
There is
Time.
no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals.
Is that your position as well?
My position is any victim who comes forward, of course, we would love to hear from them. 1-800-CALL-FBI. Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years? Did you talk about Epstein?
I am
at
reclaiming
all
my
the
time.
last
I'm
4
glad you're
years?
asking about Merrick Garland.
You don't get to reclaim
because
time
this
when
is
you don't-
bigger than
when you can't-
Watergate.
when I don't answer a question the
This
way you
goes
want.
over 4 administrations. You don't have to go back to Biden. Let's go back to Obama. Let's go back to George Bush. This cover-up spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion of it.
And that's
Now,
where the
I want to
most
know at
transparent-
what point did the FBI and the DOJ decide Lex Wessner was not a co-conspirator? Because our Epstein Files Transparency Act requires you, please put it
Time is
back on
up.
the screen, please, to release the internal decision about whether to prosecute him or not. And it's not in the files, and it's not in the files for any of these other men.
time of the gentleman has
Which,
expired.
may she answer?
And he's a hypocrite because he voted against the ban that we were talking about on deep fake AI porn. Only 2 people voted against it, and you were one of them.
What does that have to do with the price of tea in China at this moment? Okay? What does it have to do with anything? Nothing. This is how piss poor a job she's done. Yes, piss poor are the 2 words that should be used to describe her performance. Period. This is awful. By any metric, by any standard you want to use, this is atrocious. absolutely god awful. She sounds shrill. She sounds defensive. She sounds like she's absent of the facts. She's making stuff up. She's using cliches. Whatever you want to use, this is awful. Just awful. And she has no idea the damage she's doing. None. All right, a few more seconds of this. A few more seconds indeed.
Hypocrite.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, could she answer the question?
Chairman, I was wondering,
The gentlelady's allowed, the Attorney General is allowed to respond the way she wants to respond to any member's questions, Republican, Democrat.
All right, I have unanimous consent request.
And this is where Massey goes on to introduce documents into the record. Oh my, I mean, this is just good Lord almighty, awful, just terrible. Just terrible. I mean, and so that is the fireworks from yesterday. And what does Trump do? What does Trump do? How tone deaf is her boss? The man right now who ought to be considering sacking her and getting her out of there? How tone deaf is he right now on this issue? From his Truth Social, AG Pam Bondi, under intense fire from Trump deranged radical left lunatics, was fantastic at yesterday's hearing on the never-ending saga of Jeffrey Epstein, where the one thing that's been proven conclusively, much to their chagrin, was that President Donald J. Trump has been 100% exonerated of their ridiculous Russia type charges. Actually, it's the slimeball Democrats, many of them big donors and politicians, who have been proven guilty. Republican losers, sanctimonious rhino Congressman Thomas Massey made a total fool of himself yesterday, fighting aimlessly against a hopeless agenda of hate and stupidity. People ask me sometimes why I bother giving the advice that I do. I mean, well, let me answer it this way. Do I think that Donald Trump's going to listen to me? No. But it cannot be said that I and other people with louder voices than I have, be it a Rich Barris or a Mark Mitchell or an Alex Jones or so many others, aren't trying to tell him the same thing, maybe in slightly different ways, but everybody's trying to tell him the same thing, and he will not listen. When the day comes that he falls flat on his face and he's looking for somebody to blame, don't come to my door, because I try to tell you. Don't come to Mark Mitchell's door, he tried to tell you. Don't come to Rich Barris's door, he tried to tell you. Everybody's trying to tell you, and you're not listening to any of us. You know, Zippy? I don't know about senile, but he's definitely off his game. That's for sure. That is faux show, my friend. Faux show. Just terrible. Just terrible. I mean, and the worst part about it, if Trump would have stopped and thought about this back when all this got started, way back when, he would have realized I'm innocent in all this, and if I play my cards right, I can turn this thing to my advantage. Now, some people have a theory as to why he did it this way. I mean, I'm not going to drop anything new you guys probably haven't heard. Alex Jones has got a theory that Trump did what he did, thinking he could leverage the deep state by not releasing the files. Blackmail, basically. Blackmail in reverse. As opposed to him being blackmailed, he could use the Epstein files to blackmail somebody else. Now, that's Jones's theory, for what it's worth. Never a good idea. If you don't like power being in the hands of somebody else, you shouldn't be allowed to use the same power. Why? Because neither one of you should be trusted. But if Trump would have thought about it for a minute, he would remember something very important. For example, like back in the early 2000s, he was telling the police, hey, you guys need to stop Epstein. This is from ABC News from a couple of days ago. Ex-police chief says Trump told him, thank goodness you're stopping Epstein in the 2000s. A former Palm Beach police chief who investigated Epstein in the mid-2000s told the FBI he had received a call from Donald Trump at the time to say, thank goodness you're stopping him. Everybody has known he's been doing this, according to an FBI account in the interview with the ex-police chief in 2019. The Miami Herald was the first to report on the FBI document. I mean, Trump was the one that dropped the dime on Epstein years ago. So what did Trump have to fear? Absolutely nothing. Not a thing. But what did he do? He fell for it. You don't believe me? Listen to Robert Barnes.
It was a setup. It was always a setup. Now, what's become more clear to me is that Pam Bondi was in on the setup. That pay-for-play Pam cut a deal. The deal was she could use the Justice Department as her personal cash register for her lobbyist pals, and in exchange, she would cover for the Democrats and the deep state. That's why we saw very belated prosecutions against Comey and James only happened because Trump went public with criticizing, and even those cases were so poorly handled, they got dismissed, and now they're trying to maybe reinstate him on appeal rather than just re-indicting. That's why we've seen no prosecution of Adam Schiff. That's why we've seen no prosecution of all the people that Bill Pulte has referred for various forms of mortgage fraud. That's why
you don't just say stuff.
If that's true, and she's cut a deal whereby she gets to use the Department of Justice as her personal cash register to benefit herself and her friends, the longer Trump keeps her there, the worse this could get. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I'll explain here in a minute. But think about it. Trump had nothing to fear in all of this. All he had to do was keep his word. Now, how he went about doing it was the trick. If he would have taken the Epstein files out of the hands of the DOJ and the FBI, turned it over to Tulsi Gabbard and said, Tulsi, go through this stuff with a fine-tooth comb. The victims, protect them above all else. Outside of that, let justice be done or the heavens fall. If he'd have done that, all of this goes away and he looks like a rock star. And he would not have nearly the political headaches that he's got right now. Right now, this thing, the Epstein files, is an albatross around his neck. It is weighing down every good thing they're doing to the point that you don't hear about anything else. Matter of fact, I got a story here, and this just broke today. From thehill.com, Trump repeals landmark finding that climate change endangers the public, by Rachel Frazen. The Trump administration on Thursday repealed the landmark 2009 legal finding that climate change poses a threat to the public and axed climate rules for cars and trucks that were regulated under the finding. Quote, under the process just completed by the EPA, We are officially terminating the so-called endangerment finding, a disastrous Obama-era policy that severely damaged the American auto industry and massively drove up prices for American consumers. Effective immediately, we are repealing the ridiculous endangerment finding and terminating all additional green emission standards imposed unnecessarily on vehicle models and engines between 2012 and 2027 and beyond. Trump described the actions as the single largest deregulatory action in American history. There's one estimate right now where this could wind up saving, potentially, the average American family about $2,800 on the purchase of an automobile. Just this action alone. Is anybody even hearing about it? No. What are we talking about? Epstein. Epstein. And why are we talking about it? Because of the way Trump and his people have handled this. Who was it? Yeah, it was Gypsy a minute ago. Said didn't need MAGA. Closed the. Yeah, you're right. Not only did Trump mishandle this, he absolutely burned the bridge with his own base of supporters, where I don't know if he even gets them back. I don't know if he can get them back at this point. And the thing is, the clock's ticking. He's down to less than, what is it now, 10 months to the elections? He's going to need every vote he can get, because it doesn't matter whose polling you're looking at. He and his useless Republicans in Congress are in deep doo-doo. Zippy asked the question, is Tulsi a data analyst or managerial type? That's a lot of data to manage. You need a good team. At DNI, they've got the people and the resources to make that happen. And if they would have been allowed to start on this back last March, by now they could have had the job done or had a good long way into it. Well, that's true too. That is true too. Fair point. Which, again, the Republicans could have stopped that. Nope. But I mean, every good thing that the Trump administration is doing, and there are good things that are happening, much to my frustration sometimes, because there can be so many other great things being done, but there are a lot of good being done, but you never hear about it. Why? What are we talking about? Epstein. Foreign policy, Israel, Jews, foreign policy, bombing Iran, foreign policy, Epstein, foreign policy, Benjamin Netanyahu, foreign policy, Israel, Jews, and Epstein. It's madness. Hello, Salty, you old dog. Glad to have you in the house with us tonight. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable what we're dealing with right now. And worst yet, people have no idea. I mean, matter of fact, the more the Epstein files come out, the more that even just members of Congress are finding out about it. They're just shocked. I got an example. Cynthia Loomis is a senator out of Wyoming. Matter of fact, she's retiring this fall. She's no bomb thrower. She's not a fire-breathing, partisan one way or the other. But when she was asked about the Epstein files, here was her reaction. Listen to this.
I've not been one of the members who has glommed onto this as an issue. I've sort of intentionally deferred to others to find out about it. But 9-year-old victims, that's...
All over the world, Moscow was just saying too, it was sort of like a real global network that they're now getting to see on these 4 terminals they have house site.
Wow. Well, initially, my reaction to all this was, I don't care. I don't know what the big deal is. But now I see what the big deal is, and it was worth investigating. And the members of Congress that have been pushing this. We're not wrong. So that's really my only reaction.
Now, again, Cynthia Loomis is by no means any kind of a bomb thrower, okay? Run-of-the-mill, milquetoast kind of Republican, nothing really to her. But when people like her, the average normie in one sense, is finding out about this stuff, the shockwaves are going through everywhere. Matter of fact, speaking of shockwaves, did you hear what the DOJ is doing? I got a post here from Nancy Mace, who's a congresswoman out of South Carolina. This is from her Twitter account. Excuse me. X. Drink. Thank God that's not alcohol. Yes, I will confirm. The DOJ is tracking the Epstein documents. Members of Congress search for, open, and review. I was able to navigate the system today, and I won't disclose how or the nature of how, but I confirmed the DOJ is tagging all documents that members of Congress search, open, and review. Based on how I confirmed this, there are timestamps associated with this tracking. This is crazy. This is nuts. Not only is, Pam Bondi, okay, I got to think of a better nickname for her, something else, because that's an insult to good blondes everywhere. Speaking of good blondes, hello, dear. Somebody help me out with a nickname for Pam Bondi, because right now I'm on a roll. I can't do it. Not only is Pam Bondi mismanaging, mangling, futzing up the release of these files, now they're tracking the members of Congress that go, look at the unredacted stuff. Why are you doing that? Oh, well, they're just trying to make sure the partisan Democrat. No. This is pure intimidation. Okay? Pure intimidation. All right? Don't give me that crap. Hello, sir. Good evening. This is absolutely bizarre. We're now tracking the members of Congress when they go out to a website to look at the documents. Why are you doing this? And by the way, the Democrats and Republicans are equally upset about this, and I think they should be. If anybody should have the right to look at the documents without interference, it ought to be the members of Congress. It ought to be the people's representatives. Period. Zippy says, internal logging of files sounds like normal corporate practice in handling documents. It's not like they're going to use the whole other framework for government work. Okay, true. But still, as sensitive as this is, could you not have found like a discreet way of doing this? If you're doing it for internal logging of the files, well, the files are already logged. They're already logged on the DOJ's website, aren't they? So if that's the case, then why are you tracking each and every little document that somebody looks at? Boy, oh boy. It's just, and I said a little earlier, Bondi and Trump have no idea the damage that's being done. Have you guys seen this? I don't know when this was posted, but check this out. This was on some kind of like anime website or something. Look at this.
アメリカ国民に説明できるか？なぜお前は子供を人身売買し犯したスグマン庁舎を守っているのか？なぜお前を人身売の儀式を犯した億万庁舎を守っているのか？
了解。事実を淡々と述べるトーンで、ダウ平均は今5万ドルを超えています。S&P は7000部前、ナスディックも過去最高を更新しています。それこそ話題にすべきことです。それがエプスタインのファイドと何の関係があるんですか？本気ですか？
When you have people doing anime of your congressional testimony because you were so bad in terms of how you did it and it's so memeable, that ought to tell you just how poorly you performed. They're taking the time to make anime out of it. Good God. Just unbelievable. And the damage is being done everywhere you turn with this. Everywhere. And the worst irony of it is the release of these files is having all kinds of effect around the world. I just saw this today on Twitter. Norway arrests former Prime Minister Thorbjorn Jagland for Epstein corruption. A former Norwegian prime minister is charged with gross corruption over his ties with U.S. sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein by the Norwegian government. The Council of Europe removed Jagland's diplomatic immunity so that he could be indicted. The latest Epstein Transparency Act revealed emails showing that Jagland planned solo and family trips to Epstein's homes in Paris, New York, and Palm Beach after the billionaire was convicted of soliciting a minor in 2008. And he's who else? And by the way, Gypsy, I don't know if you saw this earlier today, but this one's for you, my dear. Everybody's wondering why is the American press so fixated? Why is the American press so fixated on this story about Savannah Guthrie's mother? Okay. Why? What is going on? Why is the American press so obsessed with this? Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. And again, take this for what it's worth. It's with a grain of salt. Savannah Guthrie's husband's company is listed as a co-conspirator in the Epstein files, FGS Global. In case you're wondering now why all this time Savannah Guthrie's mother would be kidnapped, Savannah Guthrie is in the Epstein files. She is linked to the Clintons. Her husband's name is Michael Feldman. He was, quote, the scrubber. That is the guy who got things harmful to the Clintons from off the press, off the internet, out of the public eye. He founded a PR consulting firm with Joe Lockhart. Lockhart was Bill Clinton's White House press secretary. After Lockhart left the government, he became a senior partner at Glover Park Group, which was co-founded by Feldman. Joe Lockhart sold his D.C. property to the Obamas. Glover Park made the Greg Rothschild the managing director. Yeah, down the rabbit hole we go. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so you start to ask yourself the question, why is all this hubbub about, Savannah Guthrie's mother, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not an important story, but we got a story in the Epstein files that is taking down governments overseas. You've got CEOs of businesses in the United States who are resigning. You've got a Department of Justice that is redacting files, withholding names of people who we ought to know who was involved with Epstein. We can't see any of it because the DOJ is redacting to the point of ridiculousness. And members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans, both are saying, if these names get released, it will shake everything up. I believe it. Totally. And every time that you watch the news, just remember this clip.
It's a new morning in America. Fresh, vital. The old cynicism is gone. We have faith in our leaders. We're optimistic as to what becomes of it all. It really boils down to our ability to accept. We don't need pessimism. There are no limits.
It figures it would be something like this.
Our nation.
Yep. Ought to give you some perspective whenever you watch the evening news. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, what's going to happen if Trump does not reverse this? I mean, Trump could, would it save him for the midterms? I don't know. But he could still pull it. If he fires Bondi tomorrow, it would help. But what's going to happen if he doesn't? Well, mark this down that you heard this here. Check it out.
That the MAGA has.
I don't want to interrupt you. Start over. I totally agree with you. By the way, Roger on air didn't want to say it, but behind the scenes, he's like, explain, like, this is existential. We don't want Trump to fail. We know he's way better. Please listen to us, Trump. Tell him what's going to happen.
If they don't get rid of Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche, then what's going to happen is a sequence of impeachments. Now, we'll start with Kristi Noem because of her corrupt dealings with Corey Lewandowski. But then it will go to Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche. From there, they're going to try to take out Vice President J.D. Vance. Because they don't want Vance to be president. So that's step 3. And then step 4 is impeachment of President Trump. And they're using everything goes back to the Justice Department and Pam Bondi. There's a lot of good people. Harmeet Dillon's trying to do good work. Gail Slater's trying to do good
Well, she was until she walked out of the job or was forced out.
work. There's a bunch of other people I know they're trying to do good work. But everything is getting derailed by Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche. And they're in bed with a bunch of rogue actors, America First donors, corrupt MAGA grifters, lobbyists who are acting as secret lobbyists for big corporations like Pfizer and other people. So it's just systematic. And the Democrats are letting it happen because they're building the file. They're building the case. Epstein files will be a key part of it, but it won't be the sole part of it. You have the president being misled into giving people pardons. This is why they tried to get Ed Martin out. Ed Martin was acting as a gatekeeper to make sure only good pardons went through. They were circumventing Ed Martin with bad pardons.
So, yeah, it's basically going to get down to this. First, they're going to go after the cabinet officers. Then they're going to go after Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche. Then Vance. Then Trump. And Trump can still stop this. I mean, it's not, look, he's frustrated at the pace of why things are not happening the way they're happening. He's wanted prosecutions all along. Nothing's happening. Okay, then if the people who are supposed to be taking care of this are taking care of this, why aren't you getting rid of them? Which, don't get me wrong, I know Trump's got a lot of stuff on his plate. I understand that. But if you promised retribution of your political enemies, why isn't it happening? Well, Mr. President, your problem is your Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General. Hate to tell you. I mean, you know, now some people are worried. Some people are worried. Well, what will happen to poor Pam Bondi if she gets fired by Trump? What's she going to do? Well, hey, listen. They told coal miners in West Virginia to learn how to code, right? Hey, maybe Pam Bondi could wind up working as a waitress. If you don't believe me, check this out.
Greetings.
Hi, what are your specials?
Well, now it's funny. Since my time as waitress, I have completed more orders than...
What are the specials?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question when I'm good and ready. Your theatrics are ridiculous. Okay, the market price fish might be up, but the Dow is down. Oh, you can't read the menu because of redactions? How about you apologize for coming in here with a party of 11?
Ma'am, could I get a refill on water?
Did you drink the water I already gave you?
Yeah, but I want...
So you admit that I already gave you water?
Yeah, but
I
I
yield
want...
my time.
Ma'am.
Oh, so you want to complain that I gave you pickles when you said you didn't want pickles, but how about you apologize for a complicated order? I have yet to hear an apology from you, or you for that matter. What are the gluten-free options? How about you grow a pair? A turkey burger? This guy's got beef derangement syndrome over here. Give me a break.
Check, please.
You do not tell me what to do. I will get you the check when I want to get you the check.
And could I please get that with Italian dressing?
Italian dressing? In America? Just say you love illegal invaders.
Okay, on second thought, maybe it's not such a good idea that she goes and works as a waitress. Yeah, not good. All right. Thank you guys for allowing me to vent, if for nothing else. And it is now a little bit past 8 o'clock. Thanks for stopping by the newsroom. If you've happened upon this wonderful little live stream, what can I tell you? Anyway, my name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative. I want to thank everybody who's watching us on Rumble, on Twitter, X. On X, on Rumble, on YouTube. Thank you for stopping by tonight. This one was put together on a little bit of short notice. We are missing a couple of our regulars over there on Rumble. Bless their hearts. But yeah. TBA, WWG1, we love you guys. Waiting to see you back. It'll be next week, but we'll see you back. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on there. Now, a few other little stories that we might want to mention in passing. Good news. The House passed the SAVE Act. If you're wondering about this, House passes Save America Act, sending Trump-backed legislation bill to the Senate. Legislation would overhaul federal election laws in all 50 states by imposing new voter ID and proof of citizenship requirements. But it faces a daunting path in the Senate. So that's the good news. Even better news. We have 49 sponsors in the Senate. 49 senators now back the Save America Act to secure our elections. All we need is one more vote. With J.D. Vance, we could break the tie. We could get this baby over the finish line, right? So that's good news. Even better news. 83% of Americans support the idea of a photo ID to vote. Okay? 83%. 71% of that group are Democrats. This is we're not talking about a highly partisan issue. We're talking about a simple pull out your driver's license, prove to me that you're the person who should be voting. Period. It's that simple. So all of this is good news. What's the bad news, you might ask? Senate departs Washington for a week without a DHS funding bill. They're not going to come back for 11 days. 11 days. And they don't have the time to let this go. They need to get this thing in place now. Seriously, folks. I mean, seriously. You know, when the Republicans lose control of both chambers of Congress, I don't want to hear a single solitary word of whining from the Republicans. I don't want to hear John Thune whine about it. I don't want to hear Lindsey Graham. If I get real lucky, Lindsey Graham won't be in the Senate after November. I don't want to hear John Cornyn's whining about it. If we get real lucky, in 3 weeks, he won't even be in the Senate. Right? I don't want to hear any of it. You guys have had chance after chance after chance after chance since January of 2025 to do some things that would actually endear yourselves to the voting public. You haven't done any of it. So when you lose control of both chambers, don't come whining to me or anybody else for that matter. You'll have deserved what you gotten. Oh, yeah. Nor with the benefit of being kissed first. Nor with the benefit of being kissed. Terrible. Just plain terrible. So, yeah. Something that could absolutely help them with the voting public and not nary a word. All right. One more story, and I don't know if you guys saw this one or not. Bloomberg broke this earlier today, but it got out on various other places. Kremlin memo outlines potential U.S.-Russia economic pact under Trump, Bloomberg News reports. Russia has outlined potential areas for economic cooperation with the Trump administration, including a possible return to using the U.S. dollar in bilateral dealings, Bloomberg News reported, citing an internal Kremlin memo. The senior-level document, dated this year, sets out 7 areas where Russia and U.S. economic objectives align after Ukraine war settlement, the report said. These include cooperation on promoting fossil fuels over renewable energy, as well as collaborative ventures in natural gas, offshore petroleum, and strategic minerals that could benefit American firms. Reuters could not immediately verify the report. Now, what's the big deal, you might ask, about all that? There's one part of that story I want to go back to, and it's this. A possible return to using the U.S. dollar in bilateral dealings. Hey, the BRICS nations right now are scaring the West to death because, let's be honest, the U.S.'s power around the world is built on their ability of trading dollars. Well, if they're not using dollars anymore and we got all that printed money out there, we are up the creek. However, if the Russians come home to the idea of using dollars as opposed to other forms of agreed upon currency, well, that just more or less takes the floor out from under the BRICS nations. So let's keep an eye on that story. All right. We're going to bring this train into the station as my throat is getting scratchier and scratchier. But I want to thank you guys for stopping by tonight. I really do appreciate it. And hey, on behalf of everybody, to you and yours out there, a happy early Valentine's Day. And yes, thank you very much, Gypsy. Much appreciated. And I'll pass that along to the lady. But thank you for stopping by tonight. Like I said, I had announced this last week, and I didn't get a chance to get it set up until this afternoon, really. But I want to thank you guys for stopping by, all those that were able to make it. We're going to be back next week. I'll be traveling this weekend. So I'm hoping to do one Tuesday night of next week. That should give me enough time to get home, get settled back in, pull myself together, that sort of thing. And then we'll go from there. Anyway. Well, now, wait a minute. I'm not quitting just yet. Oh, good grief. It's good to see you during the week, my dear. Very good to see you during the week. And I will have a lovely Valentine's Day, I hope. Well, not I hope. I know I will. I know I will. And you guys do too. No, thank you for stopping by. Probably going to do another live stream Tuesday next week. Because of travel this weekend, there is no front porch brunch. Oh, for heaven's sake. Oh, you're right. You're right. I saw that. Yeah, that cat's turning 50, I hear. Hear that cat's turning 50. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, you guys have a great weekend. Like I say, because of travel, there is no front porch brunch this weekend. But like I said, odds are Tuesday next week, I'll be doing a live stream. And I need to start reaching out to some people. There's some folks I need to get back on here. It's been a little while since we've talked to them. But yeah, looking forward to it. In the meanwhile, you guys have a happy Valentine's Day. And remember the words of that great American philosopher, Tom T. Hall, when he said, "It's faster horses, younger lovers, older whiskey, more money." Love you guys very much. You have a happy Valentine's Day, and we'll catch up with you later. Bye-bye.